These are foolproof braised beef short ribs. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Braised beef short ribs. These are nice looking ribs too. They're kind of thin, but I couldn't turn them down because they're nicely marbled. These would be very good for Korean ribs too. The recipe for this is below in the comments. So I've preheated my grill to 350 degrees. In a bowl, I'm going to add some garlic salt, onion powder, fresh cracked pepper, some rosemary. I'm going to cut these in between the bones. There. I'm going to mix up my seasonings just with my fingers, and I'm going to put them into the seasonings, and I just kind of pat it in. So I'll do that to all of them. There we go, that's nicely coated. Now what I'm going to do is start up my induction burner to a medium heat. And I'm going to add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil into the bottom. I'll put about half in right now, and I'll just swirl that around. There, that's up the temperature. It's starting to smoke a little bit. We're just going to put some really nice color into them. And we'll do it in batches. There, you can see that that's got some nice color now. So we just give it a little flip. Okay, I'm going to pull them out and reserve them on the plate that they came out on. I can reuse that plate because it's beef, and beef doesn't really matter for the raw juices. So I'm going to brown the rest of these. You can see how many I've got left over. It takes about 2 minutes aside. And don't worry, some of the seasoning is going to come off in the bottom, but we'll get that in the deglaze part. There, you can see what that looks like. Now we're going to deglaze, and I've got 1 cup of, this is beef broth, and I've got 1 cup of Cabernet Sauvignon, a nice dry red wine. You can mix the two, that's what I'm doing. Traditionally, you would do it with just all red wine. And we're just going to deglaze this. Scrape all the little crispy bits off the bottom. And I'll put the red wine in. Boy, this smells so good. Now we're going to put the short ribs in now. Just lay them in there. And all the juices. Now, I've got a couple of bay leaves that I want to tuck in there. I've got some thyme. That's it for the thyme for this year. We're out of thyme. I'll snuggle that in. And I've got some dried thyme too if you don't have fresh thyme. So we'll just put some of that in. I've got some onion, and I'm just going to quarter it. Nestle that in there. I'm going to go with 3 cloves of garlic, and you just want to smash them down and just put them in. Turn this off now. I'm going to put a lid on. And this is up at 350 degrees, and I've got heat on this side, and nothing in the center. So I'm going to put this right in the center on the top rack, and it's going to go for 2 hours. Okay, I just had a peek at the beef braised short ribs. They look fantastic. I went for exactly 2 hours with the lid on, and then I kind of cocked the lid a little bit to reduce it down. So let's have a look here. That looks good. That is nicely braised. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull the ribs. That's just fall apart. That's what I'm talking about there. You couldn't be any more perfect with a short rib than that. I've got some little crunchy bits down on the bottom though. I'm going to make a gravy. So I'm going to take some of this fat off. Now for a gravy, I would normally do one of the French mother sauces, a velouté gravy, and that would be like a roux, and then you'd add in your beef, chicken, turkey drippings, and make a nice smooth gravy. But today, what I'm going to do is fast and dirty on this one. I've got some beef broth here, and you can see that all that wine has concentrated into the bottom along with the other beef broth, and I have half a cup of beef broth here, and I'm using xanthan gum, and I always put it into a little shake bottle like this, and you can see it just like shakes out like a little powder, and you put it in, you warm the broth, you put it in, and it'll just make a nice thick broth. I want something nice and concentrated and salty for the cauli mash tonight. That's just over a medium heat. And this would be a really powerful gravy to go with it. For the beef, I'm going to serve maybe a little horseradish with that too. I think that would be really good. See, that's thickened already. I could just add a little bit of water to that to, yeah, that's perfect. If you haven't tried xanthan gum, it works fantastic instead of cornstarch. Wow. Let's try this. Oh, wow. There you go. Those are braised beef short ribs with a nice rich gravy. Thanks for watching.